Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to another virtual visit here at the aquarium. My name is Nick and I am here with my friend Mike. Hi Mike.
Hello, hello.
Mike is an expert on a lot of things, to be honest, but one particular animal that we wanted to talk a little bit about today, and that animal's name is Myrtle.
Yes, indeed.
Myrtle is a very popular animal here at the aquarium. Mike, tell us what kind of animal Myrtle is.
Myrtle is a green sea turtle. She is probably the most famous animal that we have here at the New England Aquarium, although it could be debated. Yes. She's definitely the largest. She's right now at about 550 pounds, so that's typically, people tend to remember a very large turtle when they visit us.
Yeah, right on. And as she swims towards us here, we thought it might be fun to talk a little bit about Myrtle's history here at the aquarium. And I know as someone who's responsible for taking care of her, you know a little bit about her history.
Yeah, well, we're an institution that's celebrating 50 plus years now here in Boston. And Myrtle is one of the animals that's been here for almost all of it. So she came to us just after we opened back in 1970, so about 6 months after we opened our doors. And she's been here ever since. And she came to us from another aquarium that was down in Provincetown at the end of Cape Cod. And originally when she came to us, she was just on loan, I think for the off season from them. And then soon after we opened, they actually ended up closing. And so Myrtle came to join us permanently, and she's been here ever since.
Now, what did the giant ocean tank look like at the time that Myrtle first came to us?
Yeah, the giant ocean tank has gone through quite a bit of evolving over the years. The Caribbean coral reef ecosystem you see here today is not how it looked originally. And so it wasn't as biodiverse. There weren't as many different species. We had a few different larger species, and the structure in the center didn't exist yet. So the first reef to come into the giant ocean tank actually was in the mid-'80s, and then it got renovated again in 2012. So Myrtle has seen quite a few different landscapes or aquascapes here in the giant ocean tank.
Interesting. So some of you viewers might remember our renovation back in 2012. That sort of marked a notable event in Myrtle's history, right, Mike? So she had to kind of change her location for a little bit, didn't she?
Oh yeah. The logistics of the giant ocean tank renovation were pretty spectacular. So we needed to do a wide range of renovations. So that included replacing all the windows and rebuilding the coral structure and renovating our filtration system. So we actually moved the giant ocean tank residents at the time to our penguin exhibit. So our African penguins and our rockhopper penguins that live down on the first floor, they moved to our Quincy Animal Care Center. And then we warmed up the penguin exhibit so it was appropriate for Caribbean animals. And then they made the transit from up here on the fourth floor down the elevator to the penguin exhibit, and they hung out there for about 9 months while we were under renovation.
It's always nice to get a little change of scenery, a little vacation. Mm-hmm. So that's a pretty notable event in Myrtle's history. With having been here at the aquarium for so long, you're bound to get a reputation, and rumors are bound to spread. I've heard a rumor about some other notable things that have happened in Myrtle's history. Is there anything in particular that you can confirm?
Oh, well, let's see. So she has participated in a couple research studies. So the one that we did regarding her hearing was a pretty cool one, where not only our scientists and researchers, but other groups wanted to know more about sea turtle hearing. And so our marine mammal trainers actually worked with Myrtle to train her for a behavioral and hearing study so we could figure out what frequencies of noises Myrtle was able to hear. She's also had quite a few famous dive buddies over the years who've come and visited us here at the aquarium. What else?
I heard something about eggs. I wonder if you could tell us about that.
Yes, so Myrtle has laid eggs. Actually, at least one other of our sea turtles has laid eggs here in the exhibit. Our sea turtles are all female, so we don't have any fertilized eggs being laid, but Myrtle has laid eggs up on the sandy parts of the exhibit in the past.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Very cool. So she's had quite the history here with us. I know I've seen at least one or two older advertisements featuring Myrtle as well, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, and Myrtle started with us. The earliest report we have when she came to us was that she weighed about 300 pounds. So she was maybe about half the size she is now, but still a really large turtle. And she has continued to grow and prosper since then. So now she's up to 550 pounds.
That's crazy. Yeah, I was going to ask you about things that might have changed over her history there with us. And so weight is obviously one of them. Is there anything else that has changed for her, or anything that maybe we've learned about Myrtle, like in terms of her diet or other things that characterize green sea turtles?
Yeah, I mean, as we learn more about animal care in general over the decades that she's been here, we are constantly trying to evolve and innovate as well. So through the years, she's had some sort of staples of her diet and components of like her nutrition, which are largely leafy greens, like what we're feeding her here, and some protein in the form of different types of sea creatures like shellfish and crustaceans and things of that nature. But she also gets a variety of different vitamins. She gets a calcium supplement, a multivitamin, and a few other nutrient enhancers to make sure that all those sort of trace micronutrients that she might be missing in the bulk of her diet are still getting to her, so she can still be a happy, healthy turtle with that regard. So that's something that's kind of evolved over the years as we've learned more about sea turtle nutrition and health. Other things that has changed, she definitely is a part of the team here, so she's aware of our schedules, and typically you can sort of bet that she knows when divers are getting into the water and when we're doing different tasks. One of my favorite sort of qualities about her is she's pretty curious. That's sort of like a defining trait that she has. So it's not unusual if we have to do something that might not be part of the daily routine, if we're doing something like a special kind of maintenance in the exhibit, or moving animals or doing animal exams and things that aren't happening super routinely. She often wants to be a part of that action. So she'll come over and check things out. And so we usually have to run some sort of Myrtle diversion tactic while we're trying to do our jobs in the exhibit.
Sure. Yeah, I suppose with having been here for so long, she certainly has got our routines down. Yeah, that's really cool. Well, that's a Myrtle's history in a nutshell. That was really cool, Mike. Do you have any other favorite things about Myrtle or facts about Myrtle that you know? Maybe something that's going on now or something that's happened to her throughout her history here at the aquarium?
Well, one of my personal favorite facts is that I really enjoy vacuuming this exhibit. It's one of like my favorite cleaning tasks to do. I find it very therapeutic. And Myrtle is like my vacuuming pal. So typically in the main sand tray, which is actually the area we're standing over right here, at our midday maintenance dive, if I'm moving into that area with the vacuum hose apparatus and everything, she will drop down from the surface and hang out with me, and she knows that generally if I'm vacuuming, I'll also be able to scratch her shell and some other things that she enjoys. So she generally helps me out vacuuming, which is very kind of her.
Sounds like a great roommate to have, somebody that cleans up after themselves really well. Well, that's great, Mike. Thank you so much for taking some time to talk to us about Myrtle's history.
Yeah, absolutely.
For those of you guys that are fans of virtual visits, you've probably seen some other videos featuring Mike talking about Myrtle. Lindsay as well, another aquarist that works in this department. We love talking about Myrtle, and hopefully we will continue to be talking about her for a long time to come. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Come back and visit us again soon.